Hey, what up, football fans, and welcome to another episode of The Football Connection. As always, I'm your host, Broc Boyd. Today, Cody Newhouse couldn't join us, so we have a very special guest, our good friend, Dylan Miller.
Hello.
Hey, Dylan, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you, Broc?
I'm doing good. So, Dylan, you are a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan, lifelong
Kansas City fan.
living in the heart of the Midwest. It's just in your blood.
Bleeding red and gold.
So you got to be excited for number one seed this year. You got the bye week in the playoffs. You're a quarterback, 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, almost breaking Peyton Manning's 2013 season. Man, how does that feel?
Man, it feels real good.
Yeah.
As a Kansas City fan, we've had some rough years in the last 10 years. So we were feeling good, but a little nervous about facing the Colts.
Yeah. Well, they've been on fire for the last 11 weeks. 10 out of 11 wins. Their defense has just really stepped it up. 16 points allowed since week 7. I mean, it's definitely. And then Andrew Luck's just Andrew Luck.
Yeah, you can't ever discount Andrew Luck. He's always going to be top-tier quarterback, and he's always something to be feared in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have a leading tackler on defense. Darius Leonard, leading their defense to wins.
So yeah, but then you got Patrick Mahomes and that just dynamic offense on the other side. I mean, what's the answer for all those guys that he can throw to? It's just like anyone. If you have everyone covered, he's going to throw to the most random person. It's so impressive, but some people have found the answer for it, I guess. But I mean, what do you do?
The answer has been pressure.
Yeah.
So for most of the year, if you look at the Rams game, Aaron Donald came up the middle, and they had guys come around the outside with blitzes, corner blitzes, and things like that. So the answer has been pressure, but calculated pressure. People staying in their lanes so that Patrick Mahomes can't get on the outside of the pocket and make a crazy cross-the-field play and just dishearten the defense. So
which he does. It's so crazy because, once he gets out of that pocket, he will throw literally looking to the right, throw to the left to the other side, where anyone else it would be interception guaranteed. He's getting it into the hands of these receivers, running backs. It's something I've never seen before. It seems like that baseball background is integrating into his quarterbacks.
You can see it in the way he throws the ball. I mean, just the crazy arm angles from throwing from all kinds of platforms. His feet doesn't have to be set. I think it comes from the baseball background.
Just like a shortstop. You always just jump and throw and
exactly.
So that's impressive. But is it something that's gonna sustain him through the next 10 years? Because he's got to figure out a pocket presence, or else he's gonna get older. Everyone does. Those legs are gonna start wearing out. Does he have the ability, you think, to become that in the pocket, quick decision making guy?
It looks like it right now. I mean, time will tell, obviously, but from the different games, if you don't get pressure on him, he can pick you apart from the pocket. And he has torn apart defenses both in man coverage and zone coverage. But his primary one has been zone coverage. Teams that play zone, they don't have an answer for him.
So play man against Patrick Mahomes is essentially the start. But you have to have guys that can keep up with Tyreek Hill.
Did you think the Colts have that kind of defense?
I don't know, but I definitely don't count them out. I don't think Kansas City's going to just put 35-17. I think that Andrew Luck will keep them in the game, and I think that the Colts defense will. I think it'll keep them under 30. And if they keep them under 30, and they keep Patrick Mahomes off the field as long as possible, that's the key to winning there.
Colts are great at running the ball.
Yeah, Marlon Mack's been phenomenal.
Yes, and that's how they're going to win. So they keep Kansas City under that 30-point threshold, like you said. We've won almost all of our games that we've scored 30 or more points.
Right.
And the games that we've been close against have been the Broncos, where we scored 26, and then we're down by 10 in the fourth quarter, and also the Ravens. We were almost dead to rights there against the Ravens, except for a couple fourth down throws.
Well, right. Well, two of your losses, I apologize, come from definitely over 30. So
That's true.
40,
That's true.
41 to 40 with New England,
Yeah.
and then 53 to 51 to 54
Yeah.
Rams. Wow, that Rams game was something else. Look, as a football fan, that was just amazing. Offense, defense, points all over the place. Craziness. Who knows? Fourth quarter. Two young guys. Jared Goff isn't a veteran by any means.
No.
What is his second good year?
Yeah.
So
it was a fantastic game as a football fan. Like you couldn't ask for a better football game if you're a casual fan. Like
right.
go watch that Chiefs Rams replay. It's nuts. I mean, everybody's making a play. Cornerbacks, linemen,
right.
running backs, wide receivers, and then the quarterbacks. It was a fantastic game.
Speaking of the Rams, and since we're just talking Rams, Kansas City, do you miss Marcus Peters?
No, I don't miss Marcus Peters a bit.
No.
He was good in coverage and made turnovers, but that coverage sometimes paid a price. So he got beat over the top all the time, and he doesn't tackle.
Okay.
So I'd rather have the corners that we do have now. I think they play just as good defense and make plays in the run game.
So for Marcus Peters, there's just a whole lot of, hey, I'm going for everything, so I'm going to get a lot more but I'm also letting huge plays go.
Yeah, I would compare him to Antonio Brown. Like, let's make me make all the plays.
Right.
So I don't know. We didn't miss him. As a defense, I don't think.
Right, and that's fair because I know for me, not as a Chiefs fan, looking at it, I'm looking at this guy most interceptions in the league since he's come in the league. I know there was some locker room problems, and when a team lets you go, there's obviously so much more than we know is on the outside. But it just seemed like sometimes you need that attitude on a team. Aqib Talib. Man, one of the most frustrating things as a Denver Broncos fan was Aqib Talib would cause so many personal fouls that would get us into these terrible predicaments. But man, could he come up with some clutch plays at some clutch moments.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if it's worth it to have a guy like that in your locker room who is a dog, and who's that guy now?
If you ask me that, I would say Justin Houston.
Yeah. Getting old though.
He's getting old, and our defense as a whole just doesn't have that guy. Either Justin Houston or Eric Berry. Eric Berry is a baller, and he's a fighter.
Man, those guys are on their way out though.
They are. Our key defensive players are aging, other than Chris Jones. So.
D Ford.
Man.
13.5 sacks.
So, most frustrating player on the Chiefs team is D4.
Tell me why.
First 3 years, doesn't do anything. Contract year, balls out, 13.5 sacks. And man, those contract years, you just can't take them. But I would be surprised if the Chiefs didn't pay him just because he had a great year.
Really? No, here's why I actually don't think that necessarily has to be the case. You have Jadeveon Clowney, free agent. Shane Ray, free agent. Shaquille Barrett, free agent. Those are three guys right there.
Yeah.
Shane Ray, for one, has a Kansas City Chiefs tattoo on his back. So he's got the lead from Kansas City. And the key to the Broncos defense, especially that front line, has been the depth.
Yeah.
Von Miller and Bradley Chubb don't have to play all 4 quarters the whole time. You got Shaquille Barrett, Shane Ray coming in and making huge plays. And so let D Ford go. You could get one of those guys. And both are in the division.
Yeah.
How often do we see people stay within the division?
Yeah, that would be surprising. So how do you think this Colts-Chiefs game is going to play out? And do you think the Arrowhead has any effect on it?
I don't when it comes to the Colts. I think that they just on the road they're phenomenal. And I had a stat somewhere, and here we go. First road team since 1970 to have at least 20 first downs in that playoff game last week. Over 200 rushing yards and 0 sacks against a defense that is exponentially better than Kansas City's defense. Like we were talking about, you got to counter for so Andrew Luck's going to be playing match points with Patrick Mahomes, but I think Marlon Mack he's going to be the key playmaker for this whole game. If he has 120, 130 yards, Colts are going to win that game.
I would say less than that. I'd say if
Really?
he has over 90 yards,
Wow.
I think that the Colts win the game. Just
You think
because
that's enough to keep the Chiefs off the field?
I think that's enough tempo to keep the Chiefs off the field.
Okay.
You don't have to get with Andrew Luck's playmaking ability. You don't need 5 and 6 yards a chunk off the run game.
Right.
You just need 2, 3, 4 yards.
Yeah.
So rushing 20 times on 4 and getting 3 to 4 yards a carry, I think can control the game, and you could see the Chiefs losing at home very easily.
Well, and T.Y. Hilton having a great year. Their tight end
Eric
Ebron,
resurgent year, man.
Just what I mean. I was listening to one guy. He said he's been lucky this year with all these red zone, end zone. But I just think that there's something about a tight end that you can use in the red zone, and
Tight ends are one of the most versatile weapons that you can use, and Eric Ebron has the athleticism to do that.
And
for sure.
He's a huge guy.
Yeah.
He's a monster. And what, 2 touchdowns last week?
Yep.
But I know the first drive,
Yep.
He went down there, scored no problem, carved that defense up.
Yeah.
You ever get Tyrann Matthews in the backfield there?
Yeah.
Like that. There's so many good players on that defense that if Andrew Luck goes out there, runs the ball, gets 64 yards. It was like 3 catches, 64 yards by T.Y. Hilton on that first drive.
Yeah.
If they're making plays like that, I don't know. I think the Colts are going to pull this off, but only because the thing I've been preaching the most this year is experience comes into play. And I think Patrick Mahomes, give him a couple years, sure. If he's not just a flash in the pan this year, then yeah, he could win a Super Bowl down the road. But I just think Andrew Luck's been here. He's been to an AFC Conference Championship. He's been to divisional rounds. He's been to wild card. This isn't something new for him, and I think that that's going to be the key part. So the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I can see this going both ways. I mean, I can see we can. Colts are primary a zone defense on the back end, and to me that would be in favor of the Chiefs.
Sure.
But I can see it going both ways. As a Chiefs fan, I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Right.
But
right.
And we're at home, and we are way better at home than we are on the road.
Yeah. Well, and I definitely wouldn't bet much on the Colts. I think Kansas City has the momentum, but I think that Indy's just red hot right now.
Yeah.
I think they've got this spark behind them where I know that Andy Reid has this record about coming off buys and doing well, but that's had to gone down in the last few years, right? Because I remember 2013, that was a huge thing. Come off the bye, going to play the Broncos. Everyone's 9-0. Yeah. And then you lose to the Broncos. Did you come off a bye against the Rams? Or
no,
into the bye?
We went into the bye.
Went into the bye.
So it's 2 clashing stats. Andy Reid is not that great in the playoffs historically, but he's great off a bye. So which one plays out?
Last year was a bye though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you lost to the Titans.
Yes. Was not a bye. We were the third seed, I believe.
Really?
So
okay.
We were playing in the divisional round. A lot of injuries, but that was just an ugly game overall on both sides.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's I don't know if curses and things like that are real, but if there is a Kansas City playoff curse.
History is against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like if you're going just off of history, the Chiefs are going to lose by 30.
Right.
Like, I mean, we've played Andrew Luck in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He beat
Oh my
we
goodness.
were ahead 28 points in the third quarter, and he came back and scored and won the game. And as a Chiefs fan, you were super apprehensive about this game because we've lost to Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck with the Colts in the playoffs.
Right. Which, man, I love, for one, as a football fan, you gotta love, and if Andrew Luck got himself a ring, you'd be happy. Look, if it's taking out the Chiefs, that's unfortunate. But man, Andrew Luck to get that first ring, because he's gonna be that guy. He's gonna be in the talks. You know how we grew up with the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning talk, or now we're gonna have Andrew Luck and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who
Carson
else.
Wentz, maybe.
Carson Wentz, or who knows? Maybe Baker Mayfield, or maybe Sam Darnold down the road. Because we got all these guys that we watch coming up to the end of their stuff. Eli, he's got to be on his way out. If he didn't have those 2 Super Bowl wins, which were defense, he would have been gone.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yes.
So I don't know what's going on there, especially when you get benched for Geno Smith last year. That says a whole lot. Ben Roethlisberger, that whole Steelers team's going downhill. If you lose Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster is great, but we don't know if he's great without Antonio Brown.
Yeah. And this is Philip Rivers' last year. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe his last chance at a Super Bowl. And that's that draft class that Philip Rivers, Big Ben, and Eli.
I would love Philip Rivers to get that ring.
There are so many good storylines in these playoffs.
So many.
And it's great. Like, it's gonna be a good playoffs.
Yeah. And I feel like, you guys have your storyline of, the new quarterback. But remember the 2012 when Baltimore went to the Super Bowl? You had Ray Lewis on his final year. They wanted to get him that Super Bowl, and they did.
Yep.
2015, Peyton Manning.
Yep.
Final year. Could this be a Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates moment where they just have that? Because they lit up that Baltimore defense like they were just nothing until the last couple minutes of that fourth quarter.
If Philip Rivers wins the Super Bowl, I would say he's out. Man.
Yeah, right off into the sunset.
Yeah, him and Antonio
Gates.
First ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah. One of these times we're going to have to talk about who takes that spot, though, because that would leave the Chargers in a super rebuild mode.
Yeah.
And you got Hunter Henry, you got Melvin Gordon, so you got Keenan Allen, so you got some key playmakers. But man, I don't know.
The pieces are there for the Chargers as a team, but the quarterback position is so important. And as soon as you lose Philip Rivers, we don't know what's back there after him, and they're not prepared for it, I don't think, either.
If he wins this year, goes off in the sunset, we've got a couple people coming up who could go there. Joe Flacco, he could fill in.
Yep.
Teddy Bridgewater, he could go there and play. That'd be scary with that play action with Melvin Gordon.
A serious run game, and then Teddy can make easy plays to Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry over the middle. That would be pretty ideal.
You think Teddy still has it, like he did with the Vikings?
Nobody knows, but he looks good. So he looks like a serviceable quarterback. I don't think he's gonna be your top tier quarterback. Maybe the middle of the road, Andy Dalton-esque. You're gonna need more pieces than just Teddy.
Right.
But
which they have.
Yeah, the Chargers have that.
And he's been with Drew Brees this year, which, I mean, to learn from Drew Brees
is the best.
I mean, that'd be great. That's like if you got to sit behind either Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers right now.
Exactly.
That's the equivalent. So yeah, I mean, there's, that's a whole other discussion in itself. But all right, so anyways, let's get back to this Chiefs game. What are the keys for the Chiefs to win?
Stopping the run. Okay. That's the first thing. Is we gotta keep the Colts in long distance, second and third downs, so we can get Chris Jones, D Ford, Justin Houston in there and get pressure on Andrew Luck.
All right.
And the second thing would be to score. I mean, that's what we're gonna have to do that. And if we don't score over that 25, 26 point threshold, I don't think we're gonna win the game.
Comes down to 3 points. Who do you trust more?
I'm gonna give it to Andrew Luck. Just like you said, first-year quarterbacks are not doing well in the playoffs this year. It's a little overwhelming. It's a playoff scenario. I would trust Andrew Luck more than I would Patrick Mahomes to this point in their careers. But I could see it going either way. What do you think?
Well, Andy Reid said a quote that I don't know if it's... He says that nothing scares Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you want to say that quite yet, because I've seen a couple things get to Patrick Mahomes, and like you said at the beginning of this thing, pressure is huge. Do the Colts have a lot of pressure coming at him? I mean, they have the guys for it. I mean, we're gonna see, but I think it's protecting Andrew Luck. If you protect Andrew Luck and that run game goes, then yeah, it's the Colts are gonna win that. But I'm saying, if I had to do early prediction with score, 28-24 Colts.
Yeah, and I would probably say something like 27-24 Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be right there. Right. A field goal, a touchdown, either way, and the other team's got it.
If the Chiefs score 30 points, do the Colts still have a chance?
I don't think so. I don't think they have the offense to go punch for punch for the Chiefs. So it's also going to be critical for them to keep the Chiefs off the scoreboard in the beginning of the game.
So an early lead would be helpful.
Yeah.
Stay ahead of it.
Right.
Instead of playing catch up to Patrick Mahomes, have Patrick Mahomes play catch up to you.
Exactly. That changes the whole dynamic of the game.
Because then your defense can really come into play.
Right.
When you can put it on your defense, allow them to have Patrick Mahomes go down the whole field. We can't give him good field position at all, because he's gonna get 20 yards off one play.
And now you're in the red zone.
Yeah, and so you got to make him go the whole field. And if you get ahead, and I think Andrew Luck can do it. I really do. I think if anything is going to take Bob Sutton, defensive coordinator, right? It's going to take him at least a quarter to figure out that offense. And if they score 2 or 3 touchdowns like they did in that first half against Houston, and keep Kansas City to, I'm not going to say they're not going to score, because of course they're going to score, but they keep it to 10 points and it's 21-10 going into the half.
Yeah.
Chiefs aren't great in the second half.
Right.
That could be the turning point right there.
Yep. It's going to be a great game. Sure. I'm looking forward to, as a football fan, to enjoy Andrew Luck against Pat Mahomes.
It's the start.
It's the future of football for the next 10 years. We're going to see all of Andrew Luck, and we're going to see all of Pat Mahomes, and we're going to see who wins the AFC for the next 10 years. Because once Tom Brady's out, I think these are your top 2 quarterbacks in the AFC.
Yeah, I would have to think about that, but yeah,
top 5 maybe.
Definitely in the top 5, but possibly top 2. I'd really, really have to think about that. Yeah, because all the good ones in the NFC: Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers,
Jimmy G.
Can't wait till Jimmy G comes back next year. That's my dude. That's my dude next year. I'm telling you, he's gonna light it up.
Yep. Him and Kyle Shanahan. I mean, they've had success.
Yeah.
Don't count out.
Love the Shanahans.
Yeah.
Love the Shanahans. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Did you hear? This is kind of a side note, but it's an AFC thing. Joe Ellis last year, the CEO president of the Broncos. So John Elway comes to him and says, "Hey, Mike Shanahan wants to come back and coach. Kirk Cousins will take a pay cut. He'll come play." Joe Ellis says no. Did Joe Ellis make the right decision, or could that have changed everything?
I think that you've been in a similar position. Maybe a couple wins better just because Shanahan's more experienced, but I think his offense is outdated.
Okay.
Like I would say similar to John Gruden, like this is a whole new NFL, and you have to score and score a lot to keep up with score against great defenses.
Yeah.
And I think it would be 2 to 3 wins more than what they would have been.
And that's fair, but also this offense this year, I mean, which really didn't do well, but he would have had himself a Terrell Davis,
That's true.
And we did start the year with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders.
Yes.
Demaryius Thomas has just dropped ball like crazy. I mean, it's just for the last 4 years it's been that way. So I mean, that's rough. And losing, I mean, I don't know how much of it. I feel like Cortland Sutton, give him another year. I think the second year Cortland Sutton will be fantastic.
He was really impressive. I mean, he was frustrating our defense. Not that that's saying much as a Chiefs fan, but he looked really impressive in the games that I watched. I mean, he was catching balls and catching 50-50 balls too.
And he's that big body.
Yes.
And he's getting balls thrown to him from Case Keenum. What if down the road we get ourselves that established 10-year quarterback? I know we're looking for that 10-year coach. We get ourselves that 10-year quarterback. Cortland Sutton could be around for a while. Emmanuel Sanders, he's probably on his way out. They're talking Chris Harris might be on his way out. This NFL is just changing so much. It's exciting.
Yes.
We've got all these fun new guys, but all these old names that you love so much are leaving. On your defense, you've got names that are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we're not looking forward to having Justin Houston's contract and Eric Berry's contract on our payroll. I mean,
and then you got your offensive guys coming up.
Yep.
Who knows? I guess, this Saturday we'll see. It's the first game of the weekend, so that's a cool one to start off. At least you get it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to sit here and wait and watch the other teams and say, what if this happens and then this happens? No, we get the first one.
You'll know. You will know by 6:30, 7 o'clock on Saturday, whether you're going to play the Pats or the Chargers.
Yep.
Well, you
And
won't know if you're playing one of them.
my own selfish reasons, I hope Andy Reid can get a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of those storylines to me. I don't know, a lot of people don't really care, but he's never won a Super Bowl, and I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL.
He's barely won playoff games. So,
right,
I mean,
right. So I would like him to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm doubting that will happen this year, but
I mean, hey, but he's not going anywhere.
No.
As a coach, so
no,
he's not going anywhere for. He'll be with Patrick Mahomes probably the next 5 years. So if Patrick Mahomes, if he just gets better, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's all about the people around you. And you can't keep everyone. Eventually, you're gonna be losing people and injuries. Injuries happen.
Yeah, they do.
You think about that on Saturday, man. If Tyreek Hill goes down, that just throws off the whole offense.
It's going to be a completely different offense because then you can start bracketing Kelsey, and then you have one-on-one matchups with the likes of Chris Conley and Demarcus Robinson.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes can throw those guys and make them better, but them themselves aren't going to make one-on-one matchups, and they're going to win them.
The answer for Tyreek Hill is I don't know. All right, my man. Well, that is probably going to wrap it up for this in-depth discussion with a Chiefs fan leading up to the divisional round. So, do you got anything else that you want to go over before we go?
No. Let's watch some playoff football.
All right, my man. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Greatly appreciate it. And for everyone, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share because we are going to grow through you guys. Right now, we're at about 30 subscribers. We're trying to hit that 100 mark, so please help us get there. Greatly appreciate it. And we will see you next time on The Football Connection.